3 days before our scheduled interview, we got the news about Kimbo Slice, and may he rest in peace, and our thoughts go out to his family. I personally, it bothered me because I feel like, just like today, we're kind of capturing the essence of a person in what we do here, and it's something that it will always exist, and so grandkids, great grandkids will always see what dad or grandpa or great grandpa Coker was like, but way back in 2016, and I pride ourselves that we can do that, and I never saw a great long interview with Kimbo, and I think he was very much misunderstood, and so I really regret having that chance. Just wanted to know, and he was supposed to fight tomorrow night here in London, wanted to know how the news hit you, what your relationship was like with Kimbo, and how you've been able to process it.
A reporter asked me yesterday, are you still in mourning over Kimbo? And I thought about it, I said, I still am, man. It's like, I still can't believe it. I feel like I should be able to get on the phone and talk to the guy, and when I first met him, really, he's kind of an intimidating guy, right? He's like, go, I'm like, whoa, you just hear what you see on the internet. Like, he's the guy that beats people up on the street in the backyards, and I'm like, I was telling my son, is this legal? Like, can they really do that? Where are they fighting that you could be fighting in a backyard like this, right? It seems like it should be illegal.
Florida.
And, Florida, right? So, but there's a commission and there's, like regulations. You can't, that's not legal. But anyway, he says, you don't get it. Like, he's a star. My son is the one that said, you should watch this guy.
Really?
You should sign this guy. I go, I'm not going to Kimbo Slice, right?
This was early days on YouTube.
This is really early.
Somebody told me he was the first video that had 1 million views on YouTube.
Oh, he should have got shares of YouTube, honestly. They should have paid him because
he made the company.
Every kid watch YouTube to watch Kimbo Slice. I really believe that he was the guy, the genesis of the start of that whole thing.
That's crazy.
But so I'm hearing about this guy, and so he signed with Pro Elite, right? Yeah. And then I got to spend some time with him and see him, but not much. And he came to my fights in San Jose with Pro Elite when we did a co-pro. And it was, I didn't get to know him, but he seems like a nice guy. But when we signed him a couple of years ago, I got to really sit down and really, just like this, talk one-on-one, and I didn't realize how popular he still was. Or, I just thought, yeah, we're going to fight, he's going to fight. A fight that should have happened, many years ago with Shamrock didn't happen. So I go, hey, let's promote that fight because that's a fight that should have happened. So we go on this radio tour together, and we go on, all this stuff. And what I got to really learn about him is, here's a guy that has a degree, I think in criminal justice, from University of Miami. He was a Hurricane.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Played football in high school and was trying to play football in college. And, he had this degree, and he was so smart. He had the street side to him, but he also had the smarts, he had the smarts. And so which Kimbo are you dealing with, right? It will really depend, But when his wife came around, honestly, I just saw, like, he said, she's the boss. This is the girl who's the boss, and they would hug and kiss, and the family was all around, and really I felt like they let me into the family for the last 2 years. He was part of our family, and my staff, including some of the guys here, got really close to him. One of our guys was a pallbearer for his funeral.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So it wasn't like, hey, you're just a fighter and we're the promoter, We're a team, and you're with us, and we got you, So he was a guy that powerful presence, And what I mean by that is, like, I imagine, like, if Bruce Lee had walked through this door, alive, if his young like 33-year-old Bruce Lee walked through the door, he would have a powerful presence about him, like a magnetic. Elvis Presley, same thing. Like, certain people just have that energy about them that they can walk in and just, take over. And Kimbo was that guy. When Kimbo was in the room, you would know Kimbo was in the room, because, well, you might have been scared of him because, the guy can fight, but he just had that commanding presence, of a human being, and so we became friends, and we're going on the radio tours. He's fighting, and we booked a fight here, right? And about he was supposed to come to the press conference actually in 2 months ago, and he missed it. Said, "Oh, he had pneumonia, right?" And so I said, "Okay, well, just heal up. We still have time. Whatever, you could, train, have an 8-week camp, 10-week camp, but don't worry about the press conference." And so the week that he passed away, I was getting calls from staff members saying, they talked to him a lot and say, "Hey, he's going to the hospital." And I said, "What's wrong with him?" And he said, "He has a gallbladder issue, and he has to have emergency gallbladder surgery." And then you hear all this other stuff, and I'm like, in my head, you just never think like, he would pass away, right?
Yeah.
So the Monday, I get a call. I said, "Okay, fine." I told our partners here that we're having to promote the fights. Kimbo's not fighting. I know it's going to be a blow. We got to reboot this promotion, and we'll make it right. We'll bring some other fights in, but just hang loose. Let me figure it out. And then Monday, get a call saying, "Yeah, I just talked to Kimbo." It's one of my friends. "I just talked to Kimbo. He said, tell those guys in London, postpone the fight for 60 days. I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to come out there, and this is all BS, man. Don't worry about it." Like, he still wanted to fight. In his mind, he still wanted to fight. And then that afternoon, I get a call saying, "Hey, he passed away." And I was like, "What?" Like, I go, "Are you kidding?" He said, "No, he passed away." And all I could say was, it was like the wind just went out of my body, and I didn't talk to anybody for an hour, just sitting in my office going, how do I, process this? Because it's tough. He was like a good friend at that point, and he's part of our family, and it was really, really tough for me, because it was just a shocker, it's like came out of nowhere. It's like, last time I saw him, he was just healthy guy, and just happy, and and so, it was a tough one, man. It was really, really tough. And so when the reporter asked me, "Are you in mourning over this fight?"
Yeah.
I said, I still am, man. I haven't moved on. I'm still there, and yeah, we have fighters to take care of, we have things to do, but really, it's like that really dented my soul,
I was really surprised by the outpouring, so many people said things, the UFC as well, he wasn't on their roster, and he had a short experience with them, but
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that, and I think everyone really realized how much they owe Kimbo, for advancing the sport.
Well,
really.
the fight that we had booked here was against James Thompson, which is a rematch. Think about this, that was the highest rated fight in MMA history. In MMA history, was James Thompson against Kimbo Slice. It wasn't Chuck Liddell or Randy or Tito or Ronda or Conor McGregor or Paul Daly or MVP. It was Kimbo Slice. He got the guys that wouldn't watch MMA, and he brought them in to watch MMA. So.
Well, so we had James Thompson in here 6 weeks ago, and we were talking about the rematch. We were
Right.
talking about that fight
Right.
in 08. James was talking about how his cauliflower ear burst open, how
saw it.
how he thought the stoppage was wrong. He was probably right. Like all these things, and he had been waiting for that fight. And actually, when we interviewed him 3-4 years ago here, he was still talking about Kimbo, because for James that was a pivotal moment in his career.
Yeah, and fighters don't get over it.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard said that in an interview one time. He said, the fighters that lose the big fights, they don't get over it. It's not like you can just move on. Like, it's just eating at you, So I'm sure it's been eating at James, for all those years. So when he and Ken Shamrock, got into a room, I could see it in Ken's, eyes that he wanted to fight this guy. Like he hadn't gotten over it yet. To him, it was still an issue.
Yeah.
Unfinished business, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we call the fight, was unfinished business. And then, Kimbo showed that he was training to be more than just a puncher, He got out of the rear naked choke, and, he did some good basic stuff, fighting the guard, fighting the choke and turning and doing his thing. And, he always wanted to get better. He wanted to get better. He was in a great camp with AT&T.
Yeah.
Down there, but when I think about it now, it's like, man, I know he's with us. He'll be there on Saturday night, and he's gonna be rooting for us, man. I really feel it. I feel his presence.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it just shows us life is short. Take the people that you love and hold them close, and it's a lesson you get taught by things like this.
Yeah, because I've lost both my parents, right? But that's expected, right? Because they get older and then they pass away, and it's hard, but you understand it. It's part of life. This one was a shocker because I just remember him from the last moment I saw him. We just had this moment, and it was a great time, and such a full of energy and full of life, and to have that just disappear, it was a shocker.